So let's take a look here. That was obviously not Grunt's rite of passage. I guess this is in the order in which we got these missions, not the order in which we completed them. At least the ones that are currently grayed out. Is that true? That may not be true. Did we get Subject 0? I guess we got that post-Horizon, but pre-collectorship. Yeah, okay. I think that is the case then. Jack has now destroyed the facility on Pragya and spared the life of the other survivor. The experience has helped her make peace with her brutal past. Okay. Then we do certainly have many more of the loyalty missions. Now we're maybe halfway through, maybe a little bit more than halfway through, to tell you the truth. But we do still have the recruitment mission, the dossier, for the assassin, Thane. So I am tempted to do this, if not now, then at least quite soon. Because, this is at least the last dossier that we have. So it would be nice to get our team up to full strength as quickly as possible. And, this would be the way to make that happen. So that would be high on our list for sure. As I was saying a little bit earlier, we may want to just, take a step back or two, do a smaller side mission here or there, just to change the pace a bit, because we've had a lot of very intense, high-priority missions with a lot at stake, whereas, the side missions tend not to be quite as significant, so it might be a way to switch it up a little bit if we feel like, everything has been do or die, which perhaps, certainly at least with all the collector-based main quest missions, was definitely true. But, okay, so question is, do we dossier, or do we go for, say, mining canyon or endangered research station? Maybe we go for one of these. And I think that they both were in a similar area. Lava system, Caleston Rift. Yeah, they're both in Caleston Rift. So that's one thing we could definitely do. Is that we have several areas that we've not yet fully explored. So it is possible, it is certainly possible, that we could go over here and find other side quests of some significance that we do not yet know about. So that's worth considering. If we are to go through this mass relay, then we know that, let's see, what was it? It was Caleston Rift. Here is where we have, excavate resources and reactivate magnetic shield. So, fortunately, when it comes to all these areas here, we can see if we have a 100% explored or 62% explored. So, even though we don't have any missions remaining anymore here in the Nubian Expanse, that is at least reason enough for us to know, oh, hey, okay, maybe on future occasion we should come back here and see what we missed. Because we do have other areas that we've not yet been to. So, I know there's something to be said for exploring them now, but we don't know for a fact as to whether there will be any side quests there. So let's go to a place where we know we will find something. So let's go over here to the Caleston Rift. And let's see, how are we doing on fuel? Not so well. So let's load up a bit more on that. We did get some additional monies after we, see, is there anything else? This is not the area where, Chunko is, no? I was gonna say, we picked up a fair bit of monies, so it would potentially be worth seeing if there's anything we can purchase. And we did, of course, a while back, make more of a point of going to the lair of the Shadow Broker, the actual location, in between every mission, so that we could, do our investments, collect additional resources and what have you. We have done, I believe, all the investments that we want to do. There are still a few of the little logs that we've not yet read, but I think because we've done all the investments we want to do, and the resources we, for the most part, already accumulated all the ones that we want. It's not nearly as much of a reason to go there anymore, and since it does require some fuel to get there, and not an insignificant amount of that fuel, it's not free. So for that reason, I think we'll probably make one more trip back there on a future occasion. We'll read the rest of those logs and maybe do one more round of the research, or of the rather supply pickup. But at least for now, we should be fine. So let's see. We have reactivate the magnetic shield, and we have excavate resources. Let's go with maybe we excavate resources first. I don't know, either one really. So it is on Titus here. So as a reminder, this was a side quest that after scanning, we found an anomaly and acquired said mission. So now we can land here. Let's do it. Well, actually, before we do so, let's just read up on what this mission is. So it's excavate resources. So that means it's at this one, Mining Canyon. I assume resources, Mining Canyon, probably makes sense. Scans detect an inert heavy mech broadcasting a looping message on the surface of the planet Titus. A cache of resources has been detected deep within the canyon walls. Okay, so yeah, some mech and some loot to be had. So sounds good to me. So let's land. Okay, so one other reason why I wanted to make a point of doing some of these more minor side quests is because we have certainly been adding to the team a lot as of late, but there are some people that we've had much more opportunity to use than others. So, early on we had a bunch of times when we used Miranda almost nonstop. Kasumi as well, we've used her a ton. We've found times to use Morton somewhat often, at least whenever we know or at least whenever we anticipate that we might be going up against heavily armored or health regenerating enemies. So, especially with, like, say, Grunt's loyalty mission, found a use for him. Samara, obviously a new addition, but we've, at least after having gotten her, used her a fair bit because she has some really strong abilities here. So I'm a big fan of her, with that Reeve in particular. Tally we've recently acquired, but I think we've maybe brought her once to a hub world, basically like to the Citadel, and just went on a shopping spree, and that's pretty much it. So I'm not sure we've ever done an actual mission with Tally before, so this might give us an excuse to use her. Other than that, I mean, Jacob we used several times early, but generally is not someone that I'm a huge fan of, and I would prioritize just about everyone else over him. Jack we've not used very much either. Now that we've gotten warp ammo, it could be nice to get the chance to use her a bit here. The other person is, let's see, Zaid we used a lot early. Grunt is also a relatively recent addition, although we did his recruitment and then his loyalty soon thereafter, so we've done a lot of him, at least as of late. So maybe we go, I think definitely Tally here, just to get her in. And as a reminder, it's combat drone, AI hacking, and then energy drain, her loyalty ability, which of course we've not yet unlocked. Well, let's take her, and then I think we actually have not used Garrus very much. So I'm tempted to either go with him, or if we want to try out Jack's ability, we could go with that too. Why don't we... Yeah, sure. We just picked up Jack's loyalty ability, so we'll take her. Okay, so as we were saying, we did not level up after finishing that mission. We have 125 experience before we do so. In fact, is that how much we get from the minor side quest? That might be exactly the right amount. I forget, because it's been so long since we last did one. I mean, pre-Horizon, I think, last time we did one. So we have all these squad points for Jack, and the idea was so that way we could go all out on the warp ammo. Now it is going to be somewhat redundant with us also having a squad ammo ability. I think we're definitely going to want to go the squad version for Jack as well, but maybe we just won't activate ours. So it's a biotic Mass Effect field, heat into the ammo, that increases its damage against health, armor, and barriers, notably not shields. Does extra health damage to targets affected by biotics. So I believe that description might be a little bit misleading. I think that mostly applies to enemies that are actively floating in the air because of biotics. Basically, certainly at least when it comes to with Jack, that means you set them up with a pole, they're in the air, and then when you hit them with a weapon that is using warp ammo, then you get extra damage then. But the real reason is because I believe that damage number we see here is, sure, you know, it starts out as 15, 25, 35, and so on, but it does double that amount of damage, that amount of extra damage, when it comes to barriers. So it is the best ammo against barriers specifically. So let's load up. As I was saying, I think we'll definitely go with the squad rather than the heavy. The heavy would be 15% extra damage. It would make Jack very good against barriers, but I think we want to have that on the entire squad, as is usually the case. And then we actually do have 2 points remaining here, so we can put another point or another level into pull here, just increase the duration by another couple seconds, and since that does have a synergy with the warp ammo, I think that works really well. So let's go for it. Then for Tally. So we have not used her much at all. As I was saying, I think we've used her once on the Citadel, and that was basically it, and I don't think we've ever actually had her in any combat situation, which means we have never actually used combat drone AI hacking, and obviously her passive is, well, passive. So in that case, I think what we want is, why don't we... We have enough points to go pretty aggressively here. I think we did want to save up some points for energy drain, so we can fully upgrade that as soon as we get access to it. Although even then, we still have points to spare. So why don't we throw in maybe just one more level into something? Maybe even a couple levels into something? So I think what we want to do with her is I'm eyeing the combat drone does have some interesting options to it. So I think maybe we do this. I know her passive is health, weapon damage, and then power duration. We go combat drone. So the additional levels give it a faster recharge time for its attacks, and then give it additional health as well. And then if we go all the way up to 4, let's just see what the options are here. Attack drone upgrades combat drones that its electric shock damages targets health, armor, and biotic barriers. Limit is 1 active drone at a time. Is it just stunning at the moment? With its attack, while it's a tech drone that draws enemy fire, the drone can electrically stun targets briefly and damage their shields. Okay, so at the moment it can stun anyone, or at least most enemies, and then it only does damage against shields specifically. That is, in many ways, one of Tally's specialties is shields, and at least once she gets energy drain, and then synthetics. So the alternative is explosive drone. When combat drone is destroyed, it pulses energy, inflicting high damage on all nearby targets. That's tempting. Basically, you send in the drone, and it may not do much. Well, I mean, it distracts people for a little bit, and then blows up when it dies. So let's do it. Let's get the details. All the differences here. So it's 40 drone damage if we go with the attack drone, or at least 40 damage that can apply to health, armor, and barriers, because otherwise it's only working against shields. 40 is not a lot, but, you know, it's not as much damage as most pure damage powers. But, you know, bear in mind, this drone lasts for 18 seconds, longer once we factor in her passive ability, and can attack every 3 seconds, so it does add up a bit. Whereas the explosion is 100 damage, so it's the equivalent of, what, 2.5 of the drone attacks. And it has a 6-meter radius. That's pretty big. So, I think we might prefer the explosive drone, especially on higher difficulties, because the attack drone, I'm just not sure how long this is really going to last. Or at least, I mean, either way, the drone is going to last the same amount of time. The defenses don't change, but at least in this case, when the drone does die, it still does damage, whereas in this case, the drone only has time to attack once, then it is definitely less damage than we're getting here, especially once you factor in, this is, I believe, only going to hit one enemy at a time. Maybe? Probably. Only one at a time, whereas this, with a 6-meter radius, probably hitting multiple enemies simultaneously. So I think we go with this. And then let's leave the other points unspent, because, as I was saying, I mean, I like to use energy drain, get it all the way up to 10 as soon as we get it unlocked, I think. That may not be happening soon, is the counter argument to that. So perhaps we could spend a little bit more, but at least for now, I think we'll be fine. And for weapons, do we even... Okay, yes, we have given Tally her weapons before. I was going to say, like, there's a chance we just didn't even bother to do that previously. It is a little ironic to give her a Geth plasma shotgun. That is a little strange. But, you know, we'll do it. All right, let's see.
A large supply of resources buried deep within the canyon walls. Heavy explosives will be required to excavate them.
Interesting. Oh, and I actually meant to also switch out, as we were talking about earlier. We recently picked up a third pistol. We've been typically using the Carnifex for every mission, but we were saying that maybe we wanted a chance with one of these more minor side quests to check out the other stuff, when there's perhaps not as much of a risk if it's not something we like. Let's see, so we check what we have here. So activate the mech and use it to excavate resources from the canyon walls. Sure. We got power cells. Apparently. That may mean that we are just going to have... Okay, I was going to say the word power cells for the rest of eternity right there. We also have a data pad we can read. Let's see. I paid Herod good money for this useless heap of signal error. Error. Detected serious caches of resources here on this planet, but memory leak detected. Alright, I said sure. The thing leaks fuel like a Volus after a mug of Rincol, but I can deal with that. So I took off and laid out a trail of power cells leading from where I unloaded the mech to bad package. Please restart. So I could at least get the thing moving. And now, illegal fault detected. Won't even move. That swindling Elcor. So, Herod is the Elcor on Omega, that is one of the shopkeepers, so we have dealt with them before. And apparently that is where this person purchased this mech that is now not really usable unless piece of signal error. Unless we bypass to try to get this thing running with those power cells. This is the world's easiest bypass. Whoa! Hello! He's just doing his thing. Okay. Abandoned mech. So again, we need to insert a power cell. Well, that means we need to find another power cell, it seems. So he is running out of power. Well, about that. My guess is it is further up here. Sometimes, to go forward, you have to go forward and then go backward. Except actually, though, I don't see it. Oh! Never mind. Perhaps... Oh! Whoa! Oh! Yes, that worked. Perhaps he had some power remaining at the very beginning. And then we just used our power cell that we picked up initially. Give him the reboot. Excuse me? Oh! Is it going that way? First I thought he was turning around to shoot us. I was like, excuse me. From what I understand, you are supposed to be helping us here. It's a little bit odd that you are, trying to shoot that through this wall. Okay. It is basically out of power. Let's see. Did we have... I mean, this thing looks like it would have a power cell on it, but perhaps not. Let's see if there are any others lying around here. I don't think it's down there. I don't think it's down there. Further in this direction, perhaps? Power cell did last fairly long, for what it's worth. Is that anything over there? Hold on. I am seeing some red dots all of a sudden. We do have a couple of Varen, it seems. So I didn't even apply these ammo effects, but I suppose we can do that.
Right. Gotcha.
And we can do that again. It does have a cool sound effect. I did not even remember the other ones having a sound effect at all. Oh, did we use ours on this? Why do we have a incendiary ammo on that? I'm not sure. You gotta get the little wep. Pneumatic. Yes, we have that. Get the shotgun. We have it on that. Oh, okay. Maybe that was left over from the previous mission. I didn't think that was possible for that to happen. That is a little odd. But yeah, you know, we gotta go with the warp ammo, which does have some additional effectiveness against armor. That might be even a power cell right there. And somebody has decided that that's enough staring at the Varen. Hello, friends. Some armor. That is not cool. The Varen are dead. Were they? Yes. Hiding some power cells over here? Perhaps. Perhaps. That doesn't sound good. Definitely seems like the kind of thing that you would want to shoot, make it explode, a la Zaid in his loyalty mission. But anyways, I mean, this power cell was far enough away from the mech that I felt like perhaps we were jumping the gun a little bit. We might have missed a power cell earlier on, and instead picked up the next one. I mean, then again, we did see the mech went quite far with just one power cell, so maybe we didn't skip anything here. It is odd that he is staring at the wall. Yeah. Seems like he's gonna at least make it to where we were picking up that power cell before. Or not. Maybe. We shall see. Because that certainly looks a whole lot like a place that would be logical for it to shut down, and for us to be supposed to take this power cell over here. I feel like we just flat out missed one. Let's see if there is a blatantly obvious one that we walked right past, because I feel like there's a blatantly obvious one that we walked right past. Just in case. Just in case. Okay, so we can't go down there. I mean, this... Where was it? This thing really looked like the kind of thing that would have a power cell in it. Looks like a generator. But, no. Apparently not. Oh, what was that? There it is! Yes, that is exactly what happened. We walked right past the power cell. Okay. As I was saying, that makes a lot more sense, because this is right around where the mech shut down, whereas mech shutting down here would have been right next to those Varen that were down there and the other power cell, so, you know, we did a little bit out of order, but that's fine. Where are you going? Let's not get in his way, I suppose. Still so odd that it has a laser-like focus in this direction. It is running out of power here. So, conveniently, there's Power Cell right next to us. So carry on, little mech. He says to the mech that is at least 3 times, no, at least 10 times the mass of his character. Okay. Oh. I believe that wall, that cave wall, just insulted the mech's mother. And then there's fighting words. So the mech exploded. I was kind of sort of standing next to it as it exploded. But this does look like perhaps it may be the very place we were looking for, where there could be resources inside of this system, because we got, well, exactly that. Resources. What types of resources you say? That's not important. That's not important. 5,000 platinum, though. That is a lot. And that's all we need to do. We got 125 experience, which, if I remember, is exactly how much we needed to level up. So that means we do reach level 24, and we gain a squad point from that. Then we've recovered buried cache of resources. The Hammer Mech is unsalvageable. Unfortunately, it did, in fact, self-destruct. We got 7,500 funding from this. I don't think there's anything that we had the chance of looting. So I don't think we missed anything there. And then platinum, well, we got a huge chunk of 5,000 at the end, so that's more than we've gotten from, I think, just about any other mission in terms of just pure resources. Okay, so after having done a relatively minor side quest there, just see...
Commander, you've received a new message at your private terminal.
Thank you, Kelly. One other thing that I don't think we've really checked out all that much is, remember that after finishing a loyalty mission, we do get an alternate appearance for that character. So, let's see, I think the first person we did was, what, Zaid? Might be the only person we ever checked the alternate appearance on. In fact, we actually... Doesn't he start with the sort of mustard color? So I think we had him on the alternate color. But others, I don't think we've even checked to see what it looks like. So... Go with Samara. It's black. It's it's funny because in some ways, like, this is obviously Samara's starting gear. This, I don't know if it's technically exactly what Morinth's armor looks like, but it does remind me a lot of Morinth. So no, there's perhaps something to be said for that. But well, I think I still prefer the starting armor on her. For Morden, looks fairly similar. Just has a lot more black or dark gray to it. I think I might prefer the original for him as well. Then for Grunt, he's got this sort of just fairly simple gray armor with some blue lights. Whereas the alternate, ooh, is quite different. Okay, that's kind of intriguing, you know? Maybe we stick with that. I kind of like it. As for Jack, it's basically, oh, it's clothes. And we actually have a couple of different options there. I think that this one is actually a DLC, which, it's kind of funny. But, you know, it does feel it's a little bit out of place. But, I mean, maybe we put it on for at least a little bit. Then for Kasumi, it's just a... it's both a color swap and a little bit of a pattern shift around here. I think, again, though, I do prefer her starting one. Her starting outfit. So, who do we switched Grunt, and we've had Zaid switched for a while, and of course it's purely just a matter of personal preference. I think a while back I was saying how I theorized, I thought I remembered, that you may get some kind of bonus depending on what gear or what outfit you go with. I don't think that's the case with it. Mass Effect 2, though, at least. I think it's purely just for aesthetics, so it's just purely a matter of personal preference, whatever you think looks best to you. And, yeah, you know, like, maybe we'll keep this for a tiny bit, but we'll probably switch it around, because as I said, although it's funny, it is definitely It is definitely funny. I think it is. You know, it's a little bit immersion breaking in some ways. So then the other thing I was going to say is that our upgrades, are these just ones that we already have? I don't think we've ever really looked at the upgrades from this computer before. But yeah, I think these are just the ones that we've completed, not the ones that we have the option of purchasing. We need to go to the actual research facility to do that. I mean, that makes sense, I suppose. Kelly was saying we have an unread message. Let's see, it's from the Pragia facility update. And Cerberus Intel, Commander Shepard, contacting you per Elusive Man's instructions. He believed you would want to know that he had ordered Subject Zero's project shut down before the riot broke out. Cerberus personnel arrived to find all guards dead, along with most of the subjects. Any surviving children were treated for injuries, given mild amnesiac treatments. Oh, okay. You saw nothing. And delivered to Alliance facilities as survivors of slaver attacks. A few surviving doctors were forcibly retired for their role in the project. By forcibly retired, I mean, this is Cerberus we're talking about, right? So you mean shot in the face, right? Probably. Per your report, the facility on Pragia has been destroyed. Yeah, we can say that with confidence. Alright, so that's our only message here. And so, perhaps we do take a quick look here at the research terminal, because although I'm not sure we've picked up that much in the way of... I mean, we did not just pick up anything new from that little side quest there. But we were saying how perhaps we're getting to the point where we might want to invest in some of these ship upgrades. Heavy ship armor, multi-core shielding, Thanix cannon, all things that we got a long time ago, or at least had the option of upgrading a long time ago when we were talking with our teammates after we first got them. But we didn't purchase these things because they are fairly expensive when it comes to the resources there. You can see we actually don't have enough palladium to do both the heavy ship armor and the multi-core shielding, at least not right now. And of course we will have future missions in which we may get more palladium, but that may mean that we will still need to do some more planet scanning at some point. We'll have to see. But there's that, and then there's platinum for the Thanix cannon, which we do have enough of that. And we didn't do it initially because we were saying, well, we probably want to save those resources for upgrades that more directly affect our performance in missions. And now that we've basically made most, if not all, of the upgrades that we are looking for that fall under that description, then other than, you know, if we wanted to retrain our powers or switch our advanced training, that's purely EZO, so that's something that's a little more easy to keep stock of. Whereas the other stuff, you know, sometimes it's EZO, sometimes it's palladium, sometimes it's platinum. But I think we don't have as much of a need for these resources for other things anymore, so I think now is a decent time. Now is a decent time to do these things, so let's upgrade the Thanix cannon, which it's a Normandy weapon upgrade that I believe we got from Garrus. The Turian-designed Thanix magnetic hydrodynamic cannon is now installed on the Normandy. Well, if we upgrade it, it is. But this cannon is powerful enough to destroy a collector ship with repeated hits. So, given how we have had the occasional run-in with collector ships, and if we're trying to eventually go through that mass relay to take on the collectors in their home world, then, you know, we might want to have something like this. So, it is something that as I was saying, I said at the time when we first got it that we don't need it right now, but let me be clear. We absolutely, definitely do want it, at least at some point before we finish the game. It is very important. It just wasn't time sensitive. So, now that we have made decent progress, and we don't have many upgrades to make other than this, might as well make this upgrade now. There's the Thanix cannon. And then we could afford, not here, ship enhancements. We could afford either the heavy ship armor or the multi-core shielding, but not both. I think the shielding we got from Tally, the rapidly oscillating kinetic obstructions of the cyclonic barrier technology, CBT, are added to the ship. This should help the ship survive blasts like those that destroyed the first Normandy. yeah, seeing as how that killed Shepard when that happened previously, it's probably worth making that investment, trying to make sure that it doesn't happen again. So, yeah, let's go for it. As I said, it is very important that we do the weapons upgrade, the shield upgrade. The medbay is purely just for aesthetics, to get rid of Shepard's scars, so that one is just a matter of, do you want to do that or not? It doesn't have any effect on gameplay at all. And the advanced mineral scanner and the extended fuel cells are purely for convenience, so those are not nearly as important as the other ones that we were just starting to upgrade, and, you know, we don't really need them, especially since we've done most of our scanning here. Fuel capacity, like, maybe, but, you know, I think we'll save the EZO for now. So, that's all good. We have made the Normandy stronger. As you may remember, there were times when, if we do head over to Joker, I mean, I don't think he's going to have any specific comments on this mission that we just completed, but he does have a dialogue option in which we can ask him about the Normandy specifically.
Commander.
Yeah, nothing new from him. But if we ask about... Is it the mission? Is that what it is that makes him respond like that?
So, how do you think we're doing?
Well, the Normandy's not as ready as she could be. There's always more we could upgrade. And as for the crew, you'd have to ask a people person.
Yeah, exactly. So,
That's it for now.
See you, Commander.
of course, we've made some of the Normandy upgrades, but Joker's right. There are still more Normandy upgrades that we have yet to make. So that is accurate. And that is something that we may look to do quite soon. Is this? Oh, for a second I was going to say, I just caught that NPC out of the corner of my eye. I was like, is that character using the same model as female Shepard? Because that would be really weird if when you're playing male Shepard, you just have the other Shepard casually chilling. It's you from an alternate dimension, just casually chilling on your ship. Like, okay. Do you get the reverse happening if you play with Fem Shep? Maybe, but no, it's not actually the female Shepard model. Looked like it for a second, but not actually. Okay, so let's see. Taking a look at what we have here. So I think we're looking at side quests. We still have a rival. That is something we, as we said before, we're going to want to delay that as much as possible, I think. So that is, at least from a narrative standpoint, something that fits most in that way. We do have the N7 Endangered Research Station, which is in the same general area, so I'm thinking we probably go for that now. So let's set sail for that. And let's see, I believe it is the reactive magnetic shield over here in this direction, and from a fuel standpoint, yeah, we're doing fine. Shouldn't be a problem. Would not be a problem. Okay, this is a tiny little system. So this was the one where you may remember, in fact, why don't we, before we actually initiate this mission, let's read up on it a little bit more. This is the one where scans indicated that a research station on the planet Sinmara is in danger of eradication by deadly radiation coming from the unstable local sun. If the station's protective magnetic shield were reactivated, it could survive the solar storms. So land on Sinmara and find a way to protect it from the deadly rays of its sun. Also, I think, despite it saying, where is it? A research station on the planet, I believe we saw that Sinmara is actually a moon. So I believe that is a small error on that description there. But this was the one that we were saying at the time. Yeah, like, see, this is... The planet is Surtur, however you say it. And then Sinmara is the moon of Surtur. But, this is the one where we were saying at the time how it seemed, given the anomaly where the planetary scans indicated that the Sinmara colony is vulnerable to the sun's hazardous solar flares, the malfunction detected in the colony's magnetic shield. Shield must be reactivated to avoid exposing colony to unstable solar activity and potential annihilation. That really made it sound like if we ignored them or just walked away and let them be for too long, then perhaps they would, well, get annihilated. But as we can see, we have, we found this before we did the, I think it was before we did the collector ship. Then I mean, obviously, we can still do the mission, so it seems to be fine. There's the sun. Okay, so despite it sounding like this is a time-sensitive mission that you could fail if you ignore it for too long, it is not, or at least it is not going to automatically fail in the short amount of time that we waited to do it. And the other thing is that you may have noticed that we did not have the squad selection screen. We just went straight out here with Shepard and Shepard alone. And there is a reason for that. We'll see in just a minute. We can salvage some palladium, actually a fair bit of it at that. Is that the resource we just spent a whole bunch of on an upgrade? We may have. I think we might have been in need of that a bit. So that is nice. Oh. That was dramatic. And we've got the station central control terminal that we can bypass. Let's see, just before we start doing that, let's see. Oh, what is... Huh. I suppose it's damaged in some way, shape, or form. I mean, the coloration of that almost looks Geth-like. And yeah, we can't go up here. We can punch the gold... These solar panels? I don't know. But, let's check it out. So we can bypass here. You go to you. You go to you. And you guys, and you guys. Alright, well, now we can get over here. Let's see, so we've got the control switch over here. We've got the cooling unit over here. We've got the shield control that we can bypass over here. And we've got a shield generator over here. So we've got a whole bunch of stuffs. So, well, I think the only logical thing to do here is clearly to press all the buttons and see what happens. So, let's activate the cooling unit. Did that do anything? Because I don't think it did. Perhaps we use the control switch first. It looks like there is a light leading to you. Can we bypass this? Perhaps not. The shield control is the thing that I think we're trying to build up towards, so my guess is we're going to finish on that. Let's see, what? Okay, now this sends us over here. Boot that up. Progress? Either we are making progress, or this entire platform is about to combust on us. Let's see, do we go straight to this field generator with the now blue lines pointing toward it, or do we need to do another one of these control switches first, perhaps? Now that seems to have formed a stable connection here. Shield cannot be activated because generator is offline. Generator, you say? Well, that is the shield generator, so that would suggest we need this to go this way. Now, I believe this is running. Or is about to be. So now if we put this on, see, now it's over there. Now I think we want the yellow line pointing in this direction. And I believe we now have everything good to go. And again, just before you finish all this stuff up, make sure you pick up the resources there. I believe that is the only thing there. Because we can bypass this. You guys, and then lastly you. And then once we do, we have a very dramatic looking shield. And that's all there is to it. Mission complete. No combat at all. That is why it is just Shepard and Shepard alone, no need to bring any teammates with you. We've now restored the magnetic shield, keeping Sinmara colony safe from catastrophic solar activity. Credit reward transferred from Sinmara colonists. And so it is just that puzzle there and a few hacks. That's it. 125 experience, though. Simple, straightforward. Get some monies for it. And that 2,000 palladium as well.